Most shoot-em-ups want you to duck and weave around intense bullet patterns, but not Deflector. Instead of dodging and diving out of the way, this brand new action game wants you to bat those bullets right back at the bad guys. Hello citizens of Switch Planet, my name is Cyril, and this is just one of the reasons why Deflector is my newest Switch obsession. This is a game that combines the best elements from shooters, hack-and-slash dungeon crawlers, and roguelikes to create an edge-of-your-seat experience with non-stop action. Today we're going to look at just a few of the reasons why you should be playing Deflector from Red Deer Games. I don't care if it's on the computer or in real life, nobody likes dealing with viruses. That is, until now, because Deflector is a game about shooting down viruses and making sure your system is clean. You play a virus killer who dons a bioshell in order to fight through a bunch of infected sectors, each with their own theme, enemies, and obstacles. The goal is simple enough. You want to seek out the source of the virus in each sector and then destroy the interference. In other words, you just want to shoot anything that moves. Now, Deflector plays out like a lot of dual-stick shooters, where our hero is trapped in a small arena and forced to go up against waves of enemies. We can shoot at the bad guys, dive out of the way of the enemies, and even pull up a shield that'll not only protect our fragile bioshells from a barrage of bullets, but will also bounce those bullets right back at the enemies. This is such a great way of dealing with the constant onslaught of bullets. You gotta watch out, because not every bullet can be deflected. There are some bullets that can break right through your shield, and knowing which is which can be the difference between living and dying. What's cool about Deflector is that we have a choice between several different types of bioshells. These are basically agile mech suits that have different primary and secondary weapons. For example, you'll start out with a gold highlighted hero that throws a powerful boomerang. From there, we quickly earn a second bioshell, this time a blue character that carries a big sword and isn't afraid to use it. And then there's the gunslinger, who is exactly what he sounds like. He rolls into every level with a Mega Man style arm cannon and just throws down turrets as a secondary weapon. You'll actually be able to earn even better bioshells for completing in-game challenges and beating the various modes, giving you a lot of incentive to replay the missions over and over again. Now, the great thing about this game is that the roguelike elements mean that no playthrough is exactly the same. You'll generate a new map every single time you play, forcing you to make tough decisions about what you want to risk in order to earn bigger and better power-ups. While most of the spaces will give you a little more than experience points and money that you can only spend in that round, you'll also land on spaces that will give you additional upgrades and mutations. These mutations are one of my favorite things about this game, and they really help to set it apart from the other shooters. As you play through the game, you'll be able to earn and unlock new abilities that are all tied to either your attack, health, or deflection levels. For example, an early mutation may include attaching a turret or homing laser to your shoulder, both of which will become stronger and more efficient the higher your attack level is. On the other hand, you may want to focus on keeping your bioshell protected, prioritizing mutations that'll give you added shields and health points. What's great about this game is that you can equip a bunch of these mutations all at once and just keep on upgrading them, pushing the balance of power right back in your favor. Now, because all the mutations are specifically tied to your attack, health, and deflection levels, you'll also want to steer directly into the spaces that let you upgrade your bioshell. There's an interesting balance here that will depend entirely on the type of mutations you have equipped. As a more aggressive player, I found myself preferring the attack-based mutations, which meant that I would dump almost all of my points into attack and health, completely ignoring the deflection level. However, somebody who prioritizes the defensive mutations may want to lay off the attack level and focus instead on deflection. I found that both styles of play were equally viable, which really gives you a lot of options on how you want to play Deflector. Of course, a lot of the reason this game is so much fun is because the 4 different sectors are all completely different. You'll fight through the Hollow Hive, Toxic Sea, Living Entrails, and Magnetic Fields, each of which not only has its own unique look and style, but also different types of enemies and obstacles. For example, the toxic sea will have you fighting on little islands that'll be constantly getting washed away by the dangerous water, forcing you to dash to safety. Or in the hollow hive, you'll have to contend with these big sandworm creatures that'll gobble up anything that gets in their way. Each of these sectors also contains 2 different bosses to fight, both built around that area's theme. From snakes to spiders to evil technology, there are a lot of different types of bosses to fight. One of my favorites is this giant demon that fights us on the side of a cliff in the living entrails. This is such a classic shoot-'em-up boss, where we have to memorize the patterns, dodge the demon's fists, and deflect his bullet hell attacks. It's the type of old-school boss that feels impossible to beat at first, but becomes a real pushover once you start to understand the strategy. Of course, it does help that you can upgrade your character between plays. Like most roguelikes, you end up losing all your money and mutations when you eventually die. But don't worry, because you'll still hang on to the DNA you collected, which you can use to unlock both permanent and activated enhancements. This will give you the ability to restore more health between stages, hold more mutations, start with more money, and a whole lot more. There are also the activated enhancements that can give our hero a big boost in the game, but you can only equip a few of these perks in each category. All of these enhancements will take a while to unlock, but they're worth it, and they'll give you even more of a reason to go in for one more session. Now, it helps that a normal playthrough is fairly short, usually lasting around a half hour. You really only need to fight through 3 of the 4 sectors, which helps to keep things moving along. That said, it's gonna take you a lot of tries to finish this game, so don't expect to be able to beat this thing in under an hour. I could see real substantial progress with each new playthrough, and I loved all the new power-ups and mutations that I was earning with each session. This is definitely one of those shooters that knows how to keep you invested for the long haul. It's also one of those shooters that is surprisingly accessible. Between the deflections, the diving, and the shield, it's actually pretty easy to dodge bullets. Look, there are definitely times when the game goes full bullet hell to the point where it just fills up the entire screen. But I say, don't be intimidated by the bluster. You really don't need to be a shoot-'em-up expert to be good at this game. In fact, you don't even need to play it like a shooter thanks to the more hack-and-slash-centric bio shells. Want to take down big groups of enemies with a giant sword? Don't worry, this game's got you covered. And that is what Deflector gets right. It manages to take the best elements of so many genres and make something truly unique and exciting out of it. No matter if you're into shooting or hack and slashing, this game is for you. It has a great sense of style, a creepy atmosphere, and speedy gameplay that gives you a shocking amount of control. This is easily one of the year's biggest surprises, and it's an action game that gets pretty much everything right. Deflector is available right now on the Nintendo Switch from Red Deer Games.
Okay everyone, thanks so much for watching. If you liked that video, please leave a like and subscribe, and ring the bell if you want to get notified when we release new content. We hope to see you in the next video.